I'm Rune Schwarzer, and you're listening to the Giant Sword Podcast. Microphones, activate!
Hello, and welcome to this week's Giant Sword Podcast. I'm your party leader, Nick Lynn. Joining me today in studio is Taylor Hoyt. What's up, Taylor?
What's up?
Long time no see.
It has been in person.
I actually had to drag him out of his workroom. It's like, we gotta do a podcast right now.
He just grabbed me by the shirt and just dragged me on the ground.
Yeah, he's like, no, I gotta work. There's so much to do. That's why this podcast is late.
That's right.
I don't even think it's gonna be going out this week, actually.
That's okay. Nothing big's happening this weekend, just Evo.
I know, right?
You're gonna announce Persona 5 Arena over Evo.
I know. That's what's gonna happen. And you know what's funny? This is gonna be airing after that, and
it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah. Well, they already launched the Dragon Quest character, so he's out, and then they leaked all the Street Fighter stuff.
So we're gonna see a new Arc System Works game, and we're probably gonna see new characters for Grand Blue Fantasy. That's what I figured. And maybe another.
I'm hoping we get a release date for Grand Blue Fantasy at Evo. Yeah. That would be cool.
Also, I got a suspicion that Street Fighter leak was not done on purpose.
Oh, because you think there's more or something? That's interesting.
I mean, I'm not gonna put my hopes up, but I could see Capcom doing something. Oh, and PlayStation's going to announce something there. So,
PlayStation All-Star Battle Royale 2, baby.
Oh my God! I mean, if that was real, if that really happened,
it'd be amazing.
I'd shit myself.
That'd be amazing. There'd be poop all over
There'd be
the floor.
poop all over this chair. This chair, I would get a new chair. So if you see a new chair, you know what happened.
That's right. All-Stars 2 happened. That's all you need to know.
All-Stars 2. I don't know. A lot of people don't like that game.
I get why. It was janky. It was it didn't have a cohesive art style, and it could have been fleshed out a little bit, but we had our fun with it.
We did have our fun. I enjoyed it a lot. People were like, okay, it's fun. These are the two complaints I hear. Or heard, not hear. Heard. It's a Smash Brothers clone. And then, once they played it,
it doesn't
play like Smash Brothers.
So it can't be both.
Yeah.
It's gotta be one or the other.
Choose one.
Yeah.
That was fun.
But good game. I was just bummed they never got a chance to release Dart. They were gonna do a level that was a mashup between Gravity Rush and Journey, which sounds amazing color scheme wise, and then they were gonna have Dart, and that would have been really cool. But
they had to put Zeus out there first.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everybody's favorite Sony character, Zeus.
I have a feeling what happened there is that they needed to pull out a character like really quick just to get some money, and they threw Zeus.
Yeah, like screw it. I don't know. Let's put Zeus out.
All right, so we're gonna talk about JRPGs now. Because there has been trickles of news.
There's some things.
And we've been gone for about 2 weeks, so sorry about that again. It's this guy's fault.
No, it was this guy. He had to go on vacation to Tahoe or something.
Yeah, I did go on vacation. I said so in the last episode.
I know.
But then you're like, oh, I can't. I have to work. I can't do this podcast.
It's true.
Soon it's gonna be over. He said in August. It's August.
Yeah, I mean, we'll be hopefully caught up with stuff by then.
Hopefully. But
yeah.
Hopefully I've been thinking like at work about new things we could do for when there's no podcast. That's something I could do on the channel. So hopefully stay tuned for that.
Okay.
I mean, I always give false hope for things, but stay tuned. And yes, I'm going to start streaming again. Don't worry. I'm setting it up.
Oh, God. Everybody's been worrying.
I know. Everyone's worrying.
I can see Kimpy's been up in that going, oh, God, where's Nick? He's dead.
Yeah, that's what... Have you seen the Discord?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, play with me. I'm so lonely. I feel so bad. It's like, I'm sorry, Kimpy.
Kimpy, you have a girlfriend and a child. Why are you lonely?
I know. I gotta go sleep. I gotta work in the morning.
That's right.
But don't worry, Kimpy. I'll be streaming again. And everyone else. We singled out Kimpy again.
We don't mean to call you out, Kimpy. We like you.
Yeah. Yes. All right. So we're gonna move on to some things real quick. Not really news, but like topics of like a bunch of news came out for these games, and I just want to talk about them.
Sure.
And whoa,
dog is mad about something.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about some topics, as I said before, some JRPG topics of new like news for these games have been coming out, like been trickling out, and over like 2 weeks, it's been like they've been growing. I mean, a lot of stuff. So we're gonna start real simple with. So this game was announced a while back. Surprised you.
Mm-hmm.
Story of Seasons and Friends of Mineral Town, which is a remake of our favorite Harvest Moon game.
Yep.
And you're like, I really dislike the art style. It looks very cheap. But they just released some new screenshots that actually, like, it looks like they improved a lot.
Yeah, the buildings look like they have more detail. The new characters they showed, they redesigned some of the characters. Actually, they redesigned most of the characters, and the new ones that they're showing, I actually like the redesigns. Like Mary, the librarian, I like her new design. She looks cool. And then they show all the towns in different seasons, and it looks great. The thing I still hate is the chibi big head look. I hate that look so much. So I'm hoping that maybe they balance that out by the time it's in release. But even if it's not, then just deal with it.
Back to Nature had the chibi big head look.
Did it?
Yeah.
I guess I didn't really notice as much.
I think the heads weren't as big and the bodies weren't as tiny though. But it was definitely big head, and then
yeah, they were. I mean, it wasn't super proportional. It was still a little exaggerated, but I think the character portraits really helped, and I'm hoping that'll help a lot with the new one. So, yeah. But they're showing a lot of new events and things like that. Like they did have chicken fights, but it seems more fleshed out. Like there's a dog thing with throwing a frisbee, which looks kind of cool.
That's been in there.
Yeah. Well,
you see, I know, Taylor. I know.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time, and I know you and your forgetfulness. Mm-hmm. That's been there.
My one thing I really want to do in this game is I want to know how to woo the harvest goddess. You have to just throw a bunch of crops in the hot spring.
No, I've read. You know, last episode we were talking about Harvest Moon, right?
Yeah.
And that goes on Sorry, the dog interrupted me. Mm-hmm. I went on a big tangent after that and looked up all these Harvest Moon games, and I didn't know there was a Harvest Moon on DS, and I bought that.
Yeah.
And so I started playing that, and I looked up how to woo Harvest Goddess, and for like everything.
Yeah.
And it's annoying.
Yeah.
You have to wait. You have to wait till year 5.
Year 5?
Year 5.
In the game's over in year 3.
You have to wait till year 5.
Wait, hold on. But in Back to Nature?
Mm-hmm. I don't think you could woo in Back to Nature. You have to, in Friends of Mineral Town.
Okay, because the game is only 3 years in Back to Nature. I'm like, so you have to play for 2 more years? Like, kill me.
Yeah.
Because at that point it gets so repetitive. It's just like wake up, go to bed type of thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway,
you have to ship of every item. You have to ship every gathering. Like you have to find everything you could gather.
Yeah.
Everything. You have to ship everything that's in the mine. You have to ship every plant that you could grow. You ship every animal thing.
That's not too bad.
That's a lot of stuff.
Well, I guess, but it's not too bad. Do you give it to her, or you put it in your little box?
No, you have to ship it. You have to actually ship them.
By shipping, you mean put it in the little box?
Okay.
That's not bad.
But the year 5 thing?
Yeah, that's super long. I mean, do the months go faster in DS?
No. It's the same exact thing.
Wow.
Oh, let me look it up, okay. Friends of Mineral Town. Live action. Friends of Mineral Town. Harvest Moon. Yeah. Harvest Goddess. Okay, you need to catch at least one for the Game Boy Advance one. You catch at least one of every species of fish. Ship at least one of every shippable item. Collect all 9 of the goddess jewels. Own the big bed. Dig up every item in the lake mine. Dig up every item in the spring mine. Be in year 5 or later. Ask Carter for permission to marry the harvest goddess.
Wow. Well, hopefully they make that easier in the Switch version, in the Switch remake.
Hopefully. I forgot which one. I think it's Wonderful Life. I don't remember. But the harvest goddess, once you propose to that one, she actually becomes like a human, and then she actually.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
This one she doesn't.
Interesting.
But yeah, Harvest Moon, man. And you know how we're saying your favorite was Save the Homeland or whatever?
The look. I like the look of it.
That game got rid of the dating. You know that? There's no dating in that one. But Hero of Leaf Valley has all the same characters. And is like pretty much the same story. And there's the dating's back.
So, really?
So Friends of Mineral Town, Hero of Leaf Valley is pretty much like a remake of save the homeland.
That's weird.
Isn't that weird?
Huh. Very strange. Because you know what's weird is you don't even have animals in Save the Homeland. Like, you go to another farm and, like, milk their cows and stuff. It's really weird.
So you could play Hero of Leaf Valley to get your Save the Homeland fix.
I guess. Or just play the PS4 version of Save the Homeland.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, Harvest Moon. Great game. I'm actually, like, after seeing these screenshots, I'm like, sweet. I'm actually excited to play this.
I know. Well, it's going to be a lot of those types of games because Rune Factory 4 Special comes out this year, and then we don't know when that Harvest Moon remake comes out in the West, but next year at some point, I'm guessing. And then
All the games that I want to play are being delayed till the end of the year.
it's good.
Cold Steel 3, MechWarrior 5.
Save that money.
I know. Except all of them are going to be coming out like right.
I know that's kind of what's happening to me right now. All the games that I've been looking forward to are all coming out, taking up all my time.
This guy,
Yeah.
But yeah, so Harvest Moon. You guys should check it out if you haven't played it. If you have a Vita, just download Back to Nature. Great game.
Yeah, the first one holds up really well. I feel like it's a good loop. I mean, if you like Stardew Valley, it's got a good loop. I think it looks better. I like the music. There's a lot of the events. I think the events are more fun. Like they always have events in Stardew Valley, and I would go to them, and they're kind of lame. But that one, it's fun. Like the horse races and the tomato fights. The one I can never do, and I think I've said this before, is I can never do the swimming. I never know how to do swimming in Back to Nature. I always get like 2 strokes and then I just drown and then it's over. And I'm like, okay, I don't know how to do that.
I think you might need to find like more power berries, and then that's the more power berries you have, you could do it.
That's interesting.
I don't know. All I know is that Rune Factory's festivals are 100 times better.
Yep.
Good times.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. Well, if we want to transition, I'm excited to see 5's special events. See what those look like.
Segue. Yeah, 5. So, sorry, I'm doing a little timestamp. 5 was showed a little teaser. It showed the art style, which looks really nice.
It does. Yeah, I was surprised. Yeah. That's good.
I don't know if the music's actually from Rune Factory 5, but the music was nice. They showed some characters, and then they hinted, like they teased what the main characters are going to look like.
Yeah, it's like the silhouette of the female and male characters. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping. I bet you they're holding off until the Switch remake or the Switch port of Special comes out, and once that's out,
it's already out in Japan.
Is it?
It was supposed to come out the 24th.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
I don't know if it's out now. I think maybe it got delayed. I don't know. Definitely not out for us, but it was supposed to come out the 24th, 25th of July.
Okay. Because I'm guessing it's going to come out. My guess is either September or October, because they've left it vague as just 2019.
Yeah, 2019. That means it's going to come out December 31st.
Yeah, right. Well, you know what's funny is they've already translated the game, so I don't know. A lot of the work must just be in the porting part of it, not the translating.
They probably need to translate the new stuff, though.
Yeah, and that did have voice acting. I forgot. Yeah. Maybe record some new voice acting lines or something.
Yeah. Okay. Some events had like full voice acting, right?
But most of them were like, "Hi, good to
Yeah.
see you. Oh my gosh, thank you." Like just little throwaway lines or whatever. That was loud. But no, I'm really looking forward to that. I'll say, the Switch had a really light year last year. Like I don't really know. Outside of Torna, I don't think I played a single game on Switch last year. It was Torna the Golden Country, and that was it. But this year, there's so many games coming out. So many games. Yep. It was. Oh, well, last year they had Smash. Smash came out. So it was like Smash and Torna, and that was it. And then this year, Dragon Quest Builders, Fire Emblem, Luigi's Mansion, Rune Factory,
Story of Seasons.
Story of Seasons might come out. There was one. Animal Crossing got delayed, but that looks cool. So, Astral Chain. Yeah, Astral Chain looks sick, dude. I know you don't like Platinum games, dude. But
sick. Yeah, sick. I don't know. It looks cool.
It's like a Shin Megami Tensei with action combat, basically, or Persona with action combat.
Yeah, keep thinking that.
Not in the sense that you have the dating sim stuff, but I'm saying you have a demon that you control and fight with.
And apparently having those demons is actually really bad for you. Dun dun dun!
Plot twist. Or something.
I don't know. All I know is that there's going to be a lot of farming in the future for us.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited. And they're going to have Stardew Valley 2.
All they need to do also is port Final Fantasy Tactics to the Switch.
That would be amazing.
Wouldn't it?
They need to port that everywhere, frankly.
Yeah, they do. The War of the Lions port to everywhere with the sound bug fixed. And fix the sound.
They're not going to do that. They're going to be lazy and they're just going to port it because all the Final Fantasy ports have been lazy and they have the same issues. So they're not going to do it. I mean, they might port it, but they're not going to fix a lot of crap.
But the sound quality's awful. Okay, what did the remember what Bolt sounded like in the? It was just like, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in the PSP one, it's like.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
Like a loud pitch.
Huh.
And I remember like Ramu, it was like in the PS1 version, but in the PSP one, it's like really high pitched screeching. It's like, oh my god,
it's so weird, huh? Huh. Well, speaking of Final Fantasy Tactics,
stop segueing, man.
No way, it's great.
So what's that game called again?
War of the Visions, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius.
What a name! They should have just called it Final Fantasy Tactics Mobile. That's all they should have called it.
Well, they shouldn't have put it on mobile at all.
I know.
They should have just put it on console.
But you watch that trailer and you're like, why isn't this a console?
I know. So they put out a gameplay trailer for it, like showing the different systems and the characters and more maps. And the art style looks so good. I mean, it's just got a great look. It seems really deep and customizable, but of course they're going to fill it with gacha mobile microtransaction garbage. I'm going to play that game for free as long as I possibly can just because it looks fun. But I'm bummed. It just makes me want a proper tactics. And I feel like, you know, with the revival of Valkyria Chronicles and now Fire Emblem being like... I think Fire Emblem is one of Nintendo's premier franchises now. It's definitely bigger than Metroid. Like, people always talk about Metroid. It's way bigger than Metroid. I really do think it's up there with, like, Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, stuff like that. I mean, obviously it has the most representation in Smash Brothers.
You keep thinking that.
I will.
But it's not.
I mean, I'll say this. It's definitely bigger than Star Fox. Yeah. It's bigger than Metroid.
Yeah.
Like, there's all these other, like, staple... Bigger than F-Zero, for sure. There hasn't been an F-Zero game in forever. I would even argue it's bigger than Donkey Kong.
I don't know. We follow a lot of weebs.
Well, they show... Nintendo regularly shows sales of their games, like, in pretty deep detail. And the other day they just put out, you know, best-selling Switch games. And obviously it's like... Smash Brothers, Mario Kart DX, Mario Kart 8 DX is the best-selling Switch game, which makes sense because it came out right when it launched, so people needed a game to play.
But Mario Kart always sells, and it constantly sells over time. That's why it never goes down in price.
Dude, but it sold like 17 million copies. It sold an insane number. So it's like Mario Kart, Smash, Zelda, Super Mario Odyssey, those have all sold at least like 13, 14 million. Mm-hmm. But then like Splatoon sold 9 million, which is insane. And Super Mario Party sold 7 million copies. That's crazy.
Well,
But what I'm getting at is they did not have the port of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze on there, but they did have Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe or whatever the port from this, and that sold like 4 million copies. So I figured if they would show that, they would have showed Donkey Kong, which probably hasn't cracked like 1 million.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So anyway, my point is it's quickly. I think it's rising up through the ranks. It's not their top 3, but it's bigger than a lot of these other franchises that people think are big and are not. Yeah. So, anyway. So, Nick, why aren't you playing Fire Emblem?
We're not talking about Fire Emblem right now. We're talking about Final Fantasy.
That's right. It looks cool, though. I'm going to play it either way.
I was watching the trailer, and it was like, here's job points to customize your character, here's abilities, and then you do your spells, and then you combine classes, and I'm like, stop.
I know. Well, and I was saying this when we were watching it. One really cool thing that Final Fantasy Tactics does, and I guess Tactics Ogre, and I don't know about the advanced games, I'm guessing they do that almost no other strategy RPG does, is it takes into account the direction you're facing. So if you're hitting them from the side, you have a higher chance to hit them than if you were just hitting them from the front, and then even higher if you're hitting them from the back. And then you also have to do that strategically when your turn's over, because you do your turn, then you have to decide which way you're going to face, so you can have a better defense. And I played Fire Emblem Echoes earlier this year, and now I'm playing Fire Emblem Three Houses, and they don't do that. That doesn't matter. The way you face doesn't matter at all. And I wish they would bring that back, because I love that aspect of tactics.
I don't know. Do you remember Disgaea?
I don't think it matters in Disgaea as much.
I think it does, and I think it does for a lot of games.
Well, at least the ones that I've played. I mean, I played...
You've been playing a lot of Fire Emblem lately.
Right. Fire Emblem, and then Valkyria Chronicles is not really the same type of thing, but that doesn't take that into account either. So
you only do more damage when you aim at the head.
That's true, yeah. That bummed me out. I don't think 4 sold very well, which is kind of a shame, because it's a cool game. But
was it ported to the PC?
It was. It came on everything.
All right.
Yeah, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, PC. I thought for sure, because the PC port of the original Valkyria Chronicles sold really, really well on PC, and I think that prompted them to do a true sequel. But oh well, I liked 4. I'm glad it exists, but
it's amazing that it exists.
I know. I couldn't believe. I remember the night they had the announcement trailer go out, and there was a thread or something, and I was like, this isn't real. And they're showing the developers, and the screen's all blurred out, so you can't see what they're making. And then it says Valkyria Chronicles 4, and I was like, what? No way! Valkyria Chronicles 4, it's crazy.
We didn't get 3.
I know. That would be a cool package to up-res, the 2 PSP ones, and then translate 3. People say 3 is like one of the best.
We usually don't get the best games.
It's true.
If it stays in Japan, it's usually the best one. What I've learned from...
Usually.
This is what I've learned from Tales, and this is what I've learned from Tactics, or Valkyria Chronicles.
You know what was funny? I have a running list of video ideas, and one of them was called games that never left Japan and never will, or something like that. And 2 of them got erased over E3, and one of them was Phantasy Star Online 2, and the other was Trials of Mana. Yeah, I don't even know. I think I wrote Seiken and Setsu 3 because it didn't have an English name. But not only did we get that in the Mana collection, but it's getting a remake, and that game looks really cool. It looks a lot better than the Secret of Mana remake.
Hopefully it's not buggy.
Well, fingers crossed. I mean, hopefully. You know what's it's really, really interesting to me that they're doing that with Mana, that they remade it, and then they're remaking the other one and translating. I wonder if they're going to make a 4th one in that same art style. I wonder if that's eventually where they're going with all this.
Maybe.
That would be cool. I mean, Square has such an amazing IP catalog, and they're like not taking advantage of so many of those games. Yeah, Chrono, Xenogears, Tactics. I mean, take your pick. There's all kinds of stuff that we could continue to rattle off. There's like...
I mean, they're going to milk Final Fantasy VII as long as they can.
Oh, of course. Everybody thinks there's going to be 3. I could see 4 or 5, depending on how big they want to get with it. But
we're not talking about just the main Final Fantasy VII game. We're talking about, like, the spin-offs, too.
Yeah, I mean, it was really funny. I saw a video pop up the other day, and they're like, Final Fantasy 16 in development already? I'm like, yeah, of course it is. Like, are you stupid? Like, it was probably in development, like, right when 15 finished. Like... I wouldn't be surprised, so next year's 2020, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a debut trailer for 16 at E3 2020. I wouldn't be shocked.
Because the first episode of Final Fantasy VII would be out.
Yeah, right, exactly. And so now it's like, what's their next big game? Avengers maybe? But Avengers will be out by then too.
Oh, I know what it's called. Dragon Ball Z Vegeta.
Except that's not Square Enix.
They're making it so.
Well, by the way, what are your thoughts on that Kakarot game?
I haven't even looked at it.
You haven't looked at it?
No.
Oh, dude, it looks not good. It looks like those cheapo every cheapo Dragon Ball game.
I know. That's why I don't care.
It's not anyway.
No,
you're not gonna get it.
No, I don't get those ones. I get fighting games.
Oh, interesting.
I have all the fighting games, but I don't have like the Legacy of Goku, which apparently is really good on the Game Boy Advance. But those type of games, Battle of Z.
So we're going to do something really innovative with this new Dragon Ball game. We're going to retell the story in Dragon Ball Z. The whole thing. That's crazy. Never been done before.
Actually, it's the story of Goku, so I think it's going into Dragon Ball territory as well.
It might be. The only thing I've seen is him fighting Raditz, so I don't know.
And him putting a tail on and fishing.
Fishing, yeah. Oh, God. He's gotta have fishing in JRPG.
There's gotta be blue hair.
Gotta have blue hair.
Yeah, I don't have no idea what to think about that game.
That's very weird.
It is very weird.
But what do you... Okay, so anyway, way back in, what do you think of War of the Visions? Are you gonna play that, even if it's a mobile game?
I think I have to now.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, like, looking at it now, this is the Final Fantasy Tactics test. If this game is popular and people are playing it,
yeah,
they might make like a console version of this game.
Dude, that would be amazing. So here's the thing: it would make me really happy if they made like a console version where it's a full story. You don't have to do any of the microtransactions. But I still want a true blue Final Fantasy Tactics 2. It doesn't have to necessarily be Ramza. That would be amazing. Because obviously the game leaves it open-ended, like, did he die or not? We don't know. But I think there's so much that can be fleshed out from that.
So, does it have to be an Ivalice?
I think it has to be an Ivalice, but it doesn't have to be Ramza, I don't think. That would be amazing if it was. Like, it picks up right after the end or something. Because what would be really cool is... who's the astrologist guy with the ponytail? What's his name? Olin. So the whole game is written from his perspective, right? He gets burned at the stake for being a heretic, right? Or have we been over this before?
Yes, but it's just like like freaking spoiling everything.
Dude, the game is like 20 years old at this point. Yeah. Like, if you haven't played it by now, like that doesn't even matter. Like what I just said doesn't matter.
I think that's actually said at the beginning of the game, right? I don't remember.
Oh, like this is my story of the hero nobody knows about or whatever. Yeah. But it could even be. That would be an interesting story, like leading up to him sharing the story with everybody, and you're like trying to protect him or something like that.
What, Olin? Olin could freaking like mess with the universe. How does he get captured?
I know, that's what I'm wondering. Like maybe there's an alternate timeline where he doesn't. Like maybe that could be 2's story.
The thing we're talking about is like his move. I don't know what it's called, but he like the map actually like spins around and like all this like space things happens, and he does like. Status effects to everyone in the map, every enemy.
I think it's literally just called like mathematics or something like that. Because what is he, an astrologist? Yeah, I don't know. He's got a crazy moveset. Yeah, he's nuts. And then his dad is TG Sid, right? Yeah, Orlando. Yeah. That game is so good. And that's what I want to do. After I beat Builders 2 and Fire Emblem, I want to just replay Tactics. I haven't played Tactics in a long time.
You want to play the Switch port that's coming out?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Right. No, but I really want to play Tactics again. It just I have that itch for it to be like really, the hard, like Ryalvain's Castle. Those are hard battles. Like you have to really think and be strategic.
It's really hard for this game to be hard for me now.
Tactics?
Yeah,
we've played it so many times.
We know how to break.
Yeah, that's true.
And
but still, it doesn't matter. Like we can always do goofy stuff like all white mages or whatever.
What I want to do is I want to do all chemists and they just have guns and they run and they teleport away.
That'd be awesome.
And they all have a little potion.
This is a stupid question. I don't think this would work. But can you dual wield guns?
I don't think so.
I've never tried, but like, because I know I always do that with Rams. I always make him a knight with 2 swords, and I'm like, can you have 2 guns? Pew, pew. That'd be amazing. I don't think so. I think guns are 2-handed weapons or something.
No, they're 1-handed.
They are?
Yeah, they're pistols.
They're pistols. I bet you probably just can't dual wield those though. That would be amazing. Like that'd be cool. A cool class like a gunslinger or something like that.
So we're gonna break the game and we're gonna try to make it so we can dual wield guns.
Dual wield samurai swords. No, those are 2-handed, right? The samurai swords.
No, you could do two-handed.
Really?
Samurai, yeah. Because samurais have the ability to be 2-handed, and it does.
Oh, you're right. Damage. That's right. Yeah. Was that Hamato or
no?
That's the counterattack.
That's like attack before you're attacked.
That's right. Yeah.
But yeah, it's called double hand for samurais, and I just remember like sometimes you could just do like 700 damage, 800 damage.
Dude, samurais are crazy, man. There are so many classes that I barely use and I feel like have amazing potential, like geomancers and mediators and stuff like that. There are always those weird in-between classes that you're like, I'm just dealing with you so I can get to the next one. But I feel like there's weird hidden potential in those classes.
Kind of. Geomancers are really weird.
Yeah, they
don't do that much damage, but they have like their abilities to do status effects, and it always depends on where you're standing. So I don't know if they're that good.
I know I've never had a calculator. I know calculators are good. Like if you know how to get the right stats on them, they can like wipe a board in like one attack.
You need a dancer.
Oh, dancers are cool. What do they do? I know
their dances give you like it depends on what dance you do, and it does either like it heals everyone when it's your turn you do your dance, and or like buff everyone or do damage to everyone. And so.
Yeah, I want to get those weird, crazy classes. That'd be fun to mess with.
And I think Bard's the same thing, except it's just you play music instead of dance.
I don't know if I ever got a Bard either.
It's just a female dancer or male dancer, pretty much. He thinks you're in a bubble right now.
One of my favorite special characters you get is, and of course I can't remember his name, Beowulf. He has status effect swords. Those are kind of cool.
In Tactics, all special characters
are broken.
Yeah,
they're all super broken.
That's why I never use them.
I know, because like, I mean, if you only use special characters, the game's so easy. Like, if you have Orlandu and Agrias and Mustadio and Meliadul and like Worker 8 and all this stuff, like you will just run over the game. Like, it's so easy, but the trick is to not use them.
So what you do
or to make it harder.
Yeah,
at
what
least.
you do is you don't use Orlandu and you don't steal his Excalibur.
That was always the cheap thing, is you just never use him and take his gear or whatever.
Take his Excalibur, because Excalibur always has haste.
Yeah. Yeah, my favorite thing to do in the game was when Gafgarian betrays you, just take all his gear so you can like kill him in one hit. I love that game so much. When was the last time you had a playthrough?
Back when we did the JRPG journal on the Discord.
Mm-hmm.
It was where they wanted the people in the Discord wanted to do a book club kind of thing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And it never works because they just go right ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So we all played Tactics at the same time. It was fun.
Nice.
I destroyed that game.
That was like a year ago, right? Something like that.
Maybe year and a half.
Nice.
But I played it on the PSP, and I found a fan-made patch that fixes the sound delay.
Oh, nice. I've seen all kinds of crazy like PC patches where they have like Link and Snake and all this crazy stuff. That'd be fun to kind of mess around with that. Just like put in like stupid characters.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So let's reel this back in and go on another tangent. So Mario Kart 8.
What? Really?
Yeah, you were talking about Mario Kart 8.
Okay.
And how it's selling so much. And I'm like, they need to make a new Mario Kart. But I think Mario Kart 8 DX is going to be the last Mario Kart. Ever.
No.
I think they're going to start making something called like Nintendo Kart.
Ah. Well, yeah, because in 8 they added the Splatoon characters. They added Link. They added
Villager.
Isabelle. And who'd you say?
Villager.
Yeah, Villager and Isabelle. I'm trying to think.
And then just think of the maps. The maps have a bunch of like Nintendo levels.
That's true. There's an F-Zero level. There's an Animal Crossing level. There's a Zelda level.
It's like Excite Bike.
That's right. They do have an Excite. Yeah, I forgot about that.
So
Yeah.
it's just like, why not?
I mean, might as well. Like, shoot.
Just make make a kart racer, but like Smash Brothers, where you have a bunch of different characters from a bunch of Nintendo games.
Yeah.
A bunch of maps from Nintendo games, and then the items that you have are from different Nintendo games.
The only reason I think they won't do that is because everybody knows what Mario Kart is, you know? Like, it's such a well-established name. Like, if you just said Mario Kart, like, All-Stars or something like that, like, people...
That's what that should do.
Yeah.
The first one, it should just be called, like, Mario Kart, and then, like, a weird title. Like a subtitle.
Mm-hmm.
And then that subtitle just becomes the next
game?
one. Because that's what they did with Wario Land.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, because it was like in the Game Boy, it was Super Mario Land 1, Super Mario Land 2, and then 6 golden coins, and then Super Mario Land 3, Wario Land. And then Wario Land became its own franchise.
Oh, interesting. But I'm trying to think of who else they would add that makes sense. I mean, I guess anybody makes sense.
They could add Donkey Kong characters.
I think Star Fox characters are like a pretty good
Star
fit.
Fox characters.
More Zelda characters, like put Zelda in it.
They should just add like 7 Fire Emblem characters.
That'd be funny. Make it all like road rash. You can like hit each other with like weapons and stuff.
And then it's like, sword users are so broken.
Put Ness in there, Ness and Lucas.
Yeah, there you go.
And
Nintendo, this is gonna print money.
Oh, I'm sure.
And you can have remixes of all the music from the games.
Do you think they would do another Mario Kart before the next console? Because 8 was a port, essentially.
Yeah, I don't know, really. Switch is going so popular. Switch is so popular right now. I feel like they should make another Mario Kart. Or they should do right now they're making Nintendo Kart. We don't know.
Well, of course, there's that Star Fox racing game that apparently...
It's fake.
Yeah,
it's not real.
Well, because now Retro's doing Metroid Prime, so...
That's also fake. It's not real.
It's not real. It would never happen. It was always just a logo.
It's always just a logo. It's always going to be a logo.
It was never a game.
Never a game. They're like, put something out. We have nothing to show. What are we going to do? We might be making Metroid Prime 4. Put a logo out. Do it!
The same thing with Bayonetta. Like, what really shocked me is how early they announced Bayonetta 3, and Astral Chain is coming out before that and was announced after. Same company, so that's really weird. But
they're like, what do we do with Bayonetta 3? Space. Well, they already been in space. The last one, you're fighting like a god, and she's throwing space at you.
Yeah, kind of. That game starts off when you're fighting on a fighter jet. Like, they can do anything in Bayonetta. Bayonetta 2 was so good. Like, Bayonetta 2 was one of those games where, like, it started off amazing and somehow kept getting more ridiculous up until the end of the game. It just peaks, and then the game ends. I was like, that was, like, the best, like, hack and slash action game, like, ever. It was so good.
I remember when you were playing the PS3 version, and you didn't get into it.
Oh, the first one's not... Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like the first one. I've tried to get into that so many times, but Bayonetta 2 is really good.
So you played Bayonetta 2 without playing 1?
I mean, I never finished 1, but I played a lot of it, but yeah. Never played either. Bitch slap you. Your mom? I don't know.
Nah, whatever. Alright, so let's move on to the next topic. Gonna fade in again because of the dog barking. Project Sakura Wars was shown, actual gameplay, and wowee.
It was, what was really funny? Nick had not even heard of this game before I showed him, but there was something that popped up. I'm like, oh, they announced the release date, and people are kind of upset that the gameplay used to be a strategy RPG. Now it's like a action RPG, and Nick's really excited about it now. Or he's intrigued, I'll say.
Like, oh, that actually looks fun. Because there's like a dating aspect and an action aspect, but the action aspect looked like a Muso game, so I'm like, at first it kind of looked like an Ys game, but then there's like parts where it looked like a Muso game, so I don't know, maybe there's a difference. And there's platforming.
Yeah, it comes out December 12th in Japan, and they haven't already announced that it's coming to the West. They don't have a date for it yet, but I was bummed that it was not a strategy RPG, because I feel like we've gotten so many great ones over the last couple years, and I was like, oh cool, like another one, like these are getting in vogue again, but it's just the action RPG, which is not bad because it looks cool. Like the visual style looks really nice, and I don't know. I'm gonna play it one way or another.
One way or another, I'm gonna play it.
One way or another, I'll import you. I don't know.
You're not gonna import it.
No, I'm not gonna import it. But it's coming out in English, so Sega has been doing a really good job with their games as far as localizing them and stuff like that. Like Valkyria Chronicles 4 had full voice acting in English, and then Judgment did, which is a Yakuza spin-off, which typically don't have English voiceovers.
Very surprising.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. And my guess is they're going to do that for this, probably. Even if they don't, that's fine. It's going to be cool, though. I like the world. It's sort of like a... It's like a 19... I'm making this up because I don't know anything about the series, but from the trailer I've seen, it looks like 1920s, 30s, 40s Japan or something like that. Everybody's like in a suit and tie, and it's like old-timey cars, but then somehow they're fighting giant robots, so...
And everything with giant robots automatically makes it the best thing ever.
Of course. So I knew that. I'm like, it's giant robots. Nick's sold. Yeah. But yeah. Is that on your list? Is that on your radar to...
I'll check it out still later. Just look at it.
I mean, it's not coming out till next year in the West, though.
There's so many things coming out next year. Oh my gosh. Speaking of next year, they haven't announced when Persona 5 the Royale is coming out in the West.
Yeah, that is out... When is that out? I mean, it's out in Japan this year.
In October, right?
October? Okay. So there was... Okay, so it came out October, November, December, January, February, March, April. So there was a 8-month gap from OG Persona 5 from Japan to the West. So October, so probably May is my guess. Maybe sooner. Because a lot of the translation's already done. They just have to do the new stuff. For Kasumi and the new character stuff.
And all the extra stuff. There's apparently a lot of new stuff.
It's going to be like a 200-hour game now.
I mean, it could be.
I wouldn't be opposed as long as it's good, you know? I'm just so curious how she plays into the story and how that all plays out. Because, I mean, having another character that early is going to change the dynamic of, like, everything, I feel like.
They showed, like, a lot of new... Like, they're even adding more events. They're adding more details, which I said they should. So, that's the good thing. They're adding more details to private life and stuff like that.
My other hope for this, and these are like super minor nitpicks, but there were a couple of really low resolution textures. Like when you walk in the bathhouse, the sign is like looks really washed out and bad. Because this is only a PS4 game, I'm really hoping they can go back and touch that stuff up and make it look really nice.
Do you know what we talk about, right?
What?
Because Persona 5 is not coming to the Switch.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Persona 5 Scramble's coming to the Switch.
Okay.
Yeah. But,
hey, at least Ni no Kuni's coming to the Switch.
Yeah, well, you know what's funny is that's essentially the PS3 version.
Yeah.
It doesn't run at 60 frames, because nothing does on Switch. But I'm getting the PS4 version.
Give me a piece.
Are you going to play that now? It's so much better than 2, like, I promise you.
What do you think I run like a JRPG podcast or something?
I'm not even playing a JRPG right now.
Is Harvest Moon considered a JRPG?
I don't know, I guess. Yeah, no, but that's come out in September. It was gonna come out, I think, within a week of Cold Steel 3, but then Cold Steel 3 got delayed, so there you go.
So they got to censor Sarah's boobs, but...
Seriously? Is that why?
That's a joke. I was joking that they're censoring the game, that's why they're delaying it.
Yeah, I mean, they're localizing. I can't imagine why they would delay it, but I'm sure they don't want another Ys 8 fiasco, so... I
think they said that some bugs got introduced during the localization, so they're trying to iron those out.
Okay. Yeah, take the time, make it right. I still need to play 2.
Don't worry, because we could play some more WoW.
More WoW. We can play some more builders. I'm going to completely recreate Mineral Town in Dragon Quest Builders 2.
I'll hold you to that. Do it.
Okay.
Plus the farm.
I mean, the farm will be the easy part. It's going to be the town and everything else that's going to be hard.
All right. Guys, we're going to see Taylor's Mineral Town.
By when?
We're going to hold him to it.
By the time the remake comes out?
Yeah, by the time the Story of Seasons comes out.
In America or in Japan?
Japan, because there's actually a release date for Japan.
Which is what again?
I don't know. What are you going to find out?
It's like October, I think. October or November, but yeah.
It's got to make it.
Well, because so real quick, here's the flow of how that game works is you go to an island and you help them, and as you're helping them, you build up their town, but then you come back to your home island, and then you build your home island up, and then you go to another island, and you do it again, and there's 3 total. So what I want to do is I want to finish the story, and then come back to the home island, and then do the...
Then make Mineral Town.
The hard part with that is going to be flattening everything. Yeah, that's going to be the hard part, but I'll make it happen. Well, and everything is from an isometric perspective in the other games, so it's going to be hard to know like where certain things are, because we're just assuming there's a fence or like a mountain or something.
So play Friends of Mineral Town. It's in 2D. Well, it's like above, but it's 2D.
Okay. Either way, I'll fudge it if there's no real...
You'll do it.
Yeah.
He's going to do it. Good job. Speaking of Harvest Moon and Dragon Quest Builders, what have we been playing?
Well, you want to go first, since I got 2 games I want to talk about. You can start yours first.
Okay, so I need a new chair.
First of all, I need a new chair.
So last episode, we were talking about RPG Maker.
Yeah.
And we're talking about Harvest Moon.
Mm-hmm.
So after that episode, I looked up RPG Maker and Harvest Moon.
Which you're playing 2 for RPG Maker, right?
No, I looked up RPG Maker stuff and Harvest Moon. I found out that there's I don't know if I mentioned this in the last episode, but I found out there's a Switch RPG Maker coming out.
Yeah, no, I remember we talked about that, yeah.
So it was a Switch and PS4 version. I'm getting it on the Switch. And I was like, oh, okay. I feel nostalgic for RPG Maker. So I bought RPG Maker 3 and I bought RPG Maker 2 on eBay.
Wow, okay.
And
PS2 games.
PS2 games, yeah. And I bought Harvest Moon DS. Because I was like, I want to play Harvest Moon. And I was just looking up Harvest Moon stuff. And then I found out there's a DS game, and I looked at it, and I'm like, this looks like Friends of Mineral Town. Oh wait, you could date the girls from Friends of Mineral Town. And these new girls, who are these? And then I'm like, I'm just gonna buy it. I looked up the reviews, and it was like 50%, 60%, and I'm like, I don't believe you.
I don't believe you. It's because it wasn't Friends of Mineral Town.
Yeah, that's why. So I bought it, and I started playing it, and it is different. You just start. It's like the game starts with like this. There's a new character called the Witch Princess, and the Harvest Goddess, and they don't like each other, and the Witch Princess is like, go away, Harvest Goddess, and since it does a spell and like teleports her to a different dimension.
Oh jeez.
And then the Harvest Sprites say, what did you do that for? And then she's like, she does the same spell and sends them to a different dimension.
Oh, okay.
And reads.
And then she does it to you and sends you to another dimension.
No. And then she's like, oh, why did I do that? No, I'm lonely. And then you walk up going like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you, main character, please help me get these guys back because I'm lonely. And that's how the game begins.
Okay. So your goal is to get the Harvest Goddess back.
Yeah, and all the Harvest Sprites back.
How? By making a farm?
You make a farm, you do farming things, and while doing farming things, Harvest Sprites just appear out of nowhere.
Okay.
Yeah, so
that's
a
like, really weird
getting like doing like goals. You just find stuff. And I looked it online. You need to find 60 Harvest Sprites to find the Harvest Goddess to get her back.
Okay, so there's no time limit.
There's no time limit.
Okay.
But you want to raise there's like the whole area. It's called like what's it called? Oh my god. The Forget Me something Valley. It's like a valley that's right next to the Mineral Town.
Leaf Valley.
No, it's not Leaf Valley. But there's so many like farm areas in that area that you get. It's like farm.
Yeah.
You can like plant trees and make the place look nice. And apparently, you actually have to look for stuff, like befriend people to unlock things. Like I just unlocked the what's it called? The hot springs.
Oh,
I just
cool.
unlocked it.
Nice.
And I was like, finally, because you can't. There's no power berries in this one, so you always have 100 stamina and 100 fatigue, and you're never gonna get better. And you run out of stamina so fast in this game.
Oh, that's annoying.
So I'm glad I got that back. And then I had to find the freaking mine. You had to like go in. There's like a mine, but it's not really a mine. It's like you could use the hoe to dig up jewelry. I don't know why there's jewelry there. You find like girl jewelry and you just give it to the girls.
Well, because in the other game you use the ore to make jewelry, so they make a little extra step out of it. But if you go into that cave at like 11 p.m. around 11 p.m. The guy there's like two people exploring that cave. Yeah. And
one of the guys is like, oh, I found this area. Can you hit it with this hammer? And you hit it in the hammer, and then it's actually like the mine.
Oh, weird.
So.
Huh. Interesting. Well, I mean, it's not as obscure, but I mean, in Harvest, I remember in Back to Nature, there's the one that you can only go to in the winter because the ice has to freeze over or whatever.
The winter mine.
But you don't have to knock it out. You just can't get there.
Yeah, so we got that mine. I found that mine, but apparently there's other stuff you could unlock. So I gotta figure that out.
Interesting.
I'm gonna kill this dog.
It's not as loud, but it's still annoying.
It's in the backyard, but she keeps barking.
Yep.
Should have got a cat.
Should have had a cat. Cats don't bark.
Yeah, they don't bark. But yeah, I've been playing that. I during my vacation. I messed around with RPG Maker 3 and 2, and playing RPG Maker 3 because I wanted to make RPG. Like I still do. I still want to mess with RPG Maker 3, and Taylor's getting the cover right now for RPG Maker 2.
This is of all the RPG makers. This is my favorite, just because it It's 3D. It actually looks decent. Because my problem with all the other RPG makers... Oh, and it's got 3 in the case.
Yeah, because 2's in the PS2 right now.
My problem with all the sprite ones is that they just look the same for so long. Like, they haven't upgraded them to make them even look like more detailed sprites. I mean, there's more options. You were showing me there's more options and stuff like that, but...
Oh, for the new one?
Yeah, and was it Ace or VX or something? MV, yeah. But that one's the one... It's 3D and it runs okay, because the RPG Maker 3 runs terrible if you put too much stuff on screen.
I think it just runs terrible in general.
I mean, you're probably not wrong.
What's really cool about 3, though, is the battle system. It feels like a really cheaply made Final Fantasy X battle system.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because like all the creatures have animations and everything like that, and you could do like the only thing that's bad about 3 is that everything's very limited, so you have to be creative with these limitations.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do, is make a RPG on 3 and just play with you guys, or just do it like on a stream and have fun with it, even though it's super limited. Because the characters look nothing like the portraits. There's like 5 different styles of portraits. Only 2 of them are good. Only 2 styles are good. The rest are like garbage.
Yeah.
And you know what the 2 good ones are? The anime one.
Uh-huh.
And another anime one.
Oh, there you go.
There's one that's like really realistic, but I don't like that one that much.
I wish I had my old save for RPG Maker 2. It's called Gramps, I think. And you go hiking in the cave, and in the cave it floods and stuff. Oh, there were so many cool things you could do with this.
No, you could... I looked online, and you can... Like, you could actually script different things in this game. Like, actually, like, use code.
Oh, really?
And you could change, like, how the game plays.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like a Nintendo 64 game, or like a really, really, really early PS1 game. Like, really early. But... I think I just like that style more than the sprites, because you're just so limited with sprites. At least this, it's 3D.
It has good music. The enemies are actually animated, so it's cool.
Is that still like the first person thing?
It is, yeah.
I hate that.
But all the sound effects sound like Dragon Quest sound effects, like really like. But you could change the menu. Like I was figuring out, you could change the menu music sounds, and I made it sound like Final Fantasy VII. Like exactly, it's like whoop 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 whoop.
Oh wow, that's funny. And there's no character portraits, right? It's just text box. That's what I thought. Yeah.
But and the thing that I really want to I want to learn how to stop it is your character keeps going like this.
Even when you're standing still.
When you're standing still.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I forgot about that.
Good music and everything like that. We'll listen to it when we're done with this episode. But yeah, RPG Maker 2, it's super old school. Do not come in! Jesus! Yeah, that was acting for the camera, by the way.
Sure was.
So, but yeah, the 3 games. I want to mess with 1 again, but this right here works with the PS2.
Really?
Yeah. So I was able to do like all the typing on here.
That's awesome.
So I'm happy about that. I don't have to buy a PS2 specific one like you bought.
Yeah. Stupid.
Because USB keyboards weren't really a thing back then.
That's true.
Or were really rare.
Yeah.
But that's what I've been doing.
Nice.
Taylor, you go ahead and talk about what we all know you're going to talk about.
I mean, there are 2 things. The first one that I started playing first was Dragon Quest Builders 2, and I had been really looking forward to this one because I played 1. I really loved 1, and all the reviews were saying it's like 1, but there's just more, and it adds all these quality of life things. Well, I talked about it on the last episode, I think.
So you have more experience with it.
Yeah. So I put about, I want to say it was like 40. Now I put in about 25, 30 hours, something like that. And yeah, it's just really good. Like the way you can customize the different pieces. Yeah, it's just more fun, more streamlined. I built out part of my home base, and it's really cool. I built like this big hotel and there's spots for people to cook, and everybody has their own room. And then I made this like super elaborate like swimming pool, and I like lined the walls with like vines and flowers and made it look all
Okay, so here's
nice.
a question. I remember I was playing the demo
Of two?
of 2. And it seemed like you could only build pre-made stuff at first, but can you actually build like with blocks, build certain blocks and then place those blocks?
Oh yeah, I mean it's like Minecraft, so you can pick a block and put it wherever you want.
Okay.
Because I think what the game does at the beginning is it gives you tutorials like here's a recipe for a basic room or whatever, and you can do that if you want, just so it can show you how the game works. But you can do whatever you want. Like what I've noticed a lot of people online do is put roofs on the house, which normally I just leave it open air. Because that's how when the game teaches you how to make things, it's like as long as it's two blocks high, it's a wall. I'm like, okay, so I guess you don't need roofs. And then the other problem with roofs is the camera zooms in really close and it's hard to see. So I think you need at least 4 high to make it not stupid. So when I go back and make Mineral Town and put roofs on everything,
Yeah, they put roofs on it.
yeah, gotta put roofs on everything. So that'll be
And
fun.
you gotta find characters that look like potpourri. Look like
That's not gonna happen.
Look like
I mean, maybe by the end of the. So, what's interesting is that so when you beat an island, a certain number of characters come back to your home base, and then they get their own chunk of your home base, and the game separates your home island into 3 chunks. And every time you go to a new island, the people have their own chunk or whatever. But you can mix and match, and you can put them wherever. So I'm wondering if I can just overload Mineral Town and just put everybody there or something like that. So I was also thinking, my first thought was I want to make the gold saucer, but I'm like, that is insanity because there's like freaking roller coasters and all this stuff, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that.
So he's gonna make Mineral Town and Gold Saucer. Here to hear, folks.
Yeah. I mean, that would be an audacious goal at some point, but the more I thought about Gold Saucer, because in the game, you jump down these slides, and I'm like, I don't even know how you would do that in Builders, because there's not really a great way to do slides, you know?
Yeah.
I was thinking like ladders maybe, but that seems not like a great solution. But in a more reasonable manner, I think Mineral Town is super doable. With the buildings and the pieces available, especially farming and trees and forests and stuff like that. So that's much more doable. I think that's what I'm going to do. So now what I have to do is I have to boot up Back to Nature and walk in all the houses because I don't remember how the houses are laid out. I have the general, like, here's the farm, and the town kind of goes in an L, and then in the middle of the L there's like a bar, and then there's town square, and there's the beach, and there's the chicken farm, and there's the wood builder
So
guy.
it goes. There's the main street right here.
Yeah.
And it goes left right here, right?
Yeah.
And there's the library, and
I think
Ellie's house.
I think the first house is the blacksmith.
Yeah, no, that's down there. It's right there.
Yeah.
So it's like there's the buildings right there, and then there's another road right here. That's the potpourri farm.
Yeah.
And then it goes up, and then that's where, or there's like two lanes. One goes to the town square, and the other one goes to the inn.
That's right. And then there's the horse farm, which kind of butts up to the end of the town square. And then there's then past the farm is the little hot spring with the cave. And then it's just trees that lead up to the top of the mountain, I think.
Yeah.
And then there's the cave on the lake, which you can't get to unless there's ice, which I don't think you can make in the game. So
Taylor's got a lot of work to do.
I know. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be so much fun to make that. That'll be fun.
Right.
But my problem is that I have another game to beat, which is Fire Emblem Three Houses. And
I'm looking at the questions right now.
I'm torn on how to feel about Fire Emblem Three Houses, Nick. Because presentationally, it's the best looking Fire Emblem ever, obviously. Like, character models look great, character portraits look great, the UI is really neat, good sound effects, everything looks great. There is a treadmill of things to do, like there's character levels, there's skill levels, there's class levels, there's professor levels, there's all these things to level up and do. But the battles, even on the hardest difficulty, are so easy. And I don't know if that's because I'm coming off Echoes, which is really hard. Like, those maps have these super cheap enemies that are constantly, infinitely spawning enemies until you kill them. Mm-hmm. So that made it super challenging. There were, like, way more enemies than you could deal with. And this one also does not have the weapon triangle. Well, Echoes didn't either, I don't think. But do you know what that is? Yeah, so there's no weapon triangle. The only thing that stays is arrows are strong against flying units and magic is good against armored units. That's it. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. But I haven't really been grinding or over leveling, but every time I go fight guys, it's like my strongest guys one-shot people. And I'm like, I'm on hard. Why am I one-shotting enemies? That's insane. So
sounds like a game for babies.
That's right. It's a game for babies. It's slowly getting kind of hard. Like this, okay. So the way the structure of the game works is you start the week off, you teach a lesson, or actually, the way it works is you pick what you want to do for the week. So you can either explore the campus and you can talk to students and you can eat with them and do side quests. You can do supplemental battles, which those are the most challenging I found, are these extra battles. So you can do that. You can do seminar, which are classes that are specifically to get skills up, like better with swords or better with riding horses or whatever, and those give you extra boost. And then there's rest, which you do nothing. It raises everybody's motivation. And then the rest of the week you're teaching your students. So you pick a handful of students to teach specific skills, and then the rest of the week it kind of auto does it for you, if you will. And then depending on what their focus is, that's another thing. You have to set their focus, like, oh, this character, I want you to focus on healing and magic or swords and spears or whatever. And then it'll level up. So there's like a million things to level up and keep track of. And people keep saying it's like Persona, and it kind of is. Persona is so much deeper with the social link stuff and what you can do in the activities and stuff like that. So I guess you could say it's like Persona.
It's like cool to do.
Exactly. There's just way more characters, though, because, I mean, as the name says, there's 3 houses, and you pick which house you want to be the professor of at the beginning of the game. And I think you have like 8... there's like 7 or 8 characters per house. And you can recruit the other characters from other houses. So there's like 20-something characters and that doesn't even include the other teachers, which there is definitely a Nick teacher. Her name's Manuela. She's got giant boobs, and she's very sexy and seductive and all this stuff.
And that's why you think I like her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, there's a couple other female instructors. One's like, she reminds me of Brienne from Game of Thrones. She's kind of beefy. And there's another girl who I thought for sure would be a lesbian, but is not. And I'm kind of disappointed. Because I played female. The main character's name is Byleth, the default name. Mm-hmm. And I picked female. And I got so lucky. I got really lucky. I'm like, I didn't think there were romantic relationships in the game. I just thought there was... bonding points, and depending on how high that is, you help each other better in battle and stuff like that. But then I found out there is romance. I was like, oh, well, I didn't find that until I started the game. And there was one character that I really liked. Her name's Mercedes, and she's the one bi character in my house. So I'm like, yes. So I can be female, and I can woo a female. So it's okay.
The SJW's an effective Fire Emblem. I'm kidding, people.
Or
am I?
But it's good. I mean, I just wish it was more challenging. I asked Kimpy, and you know what? I'm curious. I asked Kimpy what he thought, because he's the Fire Emblem expert. And I said, I'm like, this game is so easy. I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are. And you know me with difficulty. Like, if I say it's easy, it's easy. It's like really easy. So, Kimpy, did you reply? Nope, he hasn't replied yet. So, but... That's really my only complaint. I actually like the story. The story's really good. Everything is voice acted. Everything. Like every little side event, every time you just talk to somebody walking around like, oh, hi, Professor, what are you doing today? Like everything is voice acted. And considering how many characters are, that's really crazy. So yeah, I mean, everything's really good and fun and addicting. I just wish it was harder. That's it. They're adding a lunatic difficulty later this year, so that might be the proper difficulty.
They were trying to get the Fire Emblem Heroes crowd in, you know?
Mm-hmm. Fire Emblem Warriors, you know, all the scrubs.
No, not Warriors, because it's a different game.
Yeah.
Heroes.
Yeah, the mobile game.
The mobile game.
Well, I mean, all indications are this is going to be probably the best-selling Fire Emblem game, because they said that it doubled the first week sales in the UK compared to Awakening and Fates, and those are the two best-selling games in the series. So I put out a tweet saying, I bet you it's not. I don't think it's outlandish to say that this could sell 5 million copies, because those sold. Fates sold just short of 3 million, and that's when it was still kind of getting up there. And it seems like everything just sells well on Switch. So, a freaking new Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe can sell 4 million copies, and Fire Emblem's better.
Better.
Yeah, better. Better do better than that. It better sell 10 million copies.
Okay.
Okay. I think if it sold 10 million copies, it would be the best-selling strategy RPG of all time. Because strategy RPGs don't sell crazy numbers. No. Okay.
Not even Fire Emblem.
Not even Fire Emblem.
Which is a shell of its former self.
Yep. What a bunch of SJW cooks.
No, I'm just talking about the difficulty.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I only have one question from Twitter, but
all right,
go ahead.
Questions. We're moving the questions. We'll beep.
Actually, if you don't mind, this is Fire Emblem related, so let me ask.
There's so many Fire Emblem related questions, Taylor.
I know. Well, I'm going to answer this one first so I can close my phone.
Okay, do it.
Okay, so this is from Virgil from JRPG Central. He said, where do you think the series go from here? The social sim heavy iteration of Fire Emblem clearly worked out very well, but outside of the context of Three Houses' story, I don't see an obvious way that they could implement it again. So how do they continue to build on the social stuff? Because essentially it's like Harry Potter or Persona, it's a school setting. I don't know if there is a way to do that. So I'll say this. This is an interesting thing they could possibly do. So I have not played this game, but I watched enough reviews to know that this is something that happens. But in Red Dead Redemption 2, you have like this traveling gang, and as you're traveling, you set up your camp at night, and you can talk to the different people in your gang. So I'm thinking that one way that you could do that is that, like, you're a group of rebels or whatever, and you're just traveling across the world, and that maybe in between battles you set up camp in different places, and that could possibly be a way to do it.
Here's a way to do it. All right, I got it. Here's a good way.
Oh God, here it comes.
So you start off as cadets.
Okay. All right. Oh my God. Okay.
You go to a castle. It's like your brother's castle.
Yeah.
And
then
your friend's sister gets kidnapped by these rebels.
But then your father dies first.
Oh yeah, your father dies. Yeah, father dies. I can't go on.
That's just being silly. Yeah, I mean.
But seriously though, I could see if they really want to continue doing this, they could be they could be part of, because it's always about like medieval war, right? So you're part of a kingdom, and you're like cadets in the kingdom, and you're part of the cadet group, and then you just grow up, and then you become part of the army, and then there's a huge war, and you get to have that social aspect, but also have this huge war going on with the world they're part of.
I mean, that's basically how they were in Awakening and Fates. Like you have like a castle, and then like in between battles, you would go back to the castle and like do all that stuff.
That's what's gonna happen. I mean, this. I don't know how they could top this.
I mean,
continue this unless they just copy the formula again,
which is fine by me. Yeah, I think that system is limited to a lot of like scenarios. Like you said, it's like being in a military academy, which is what this is. Being just part of the army, but I think what I said, like if you're a traveling group of rebels or something like that, and you set up a camp in between fights.
Yeah, you can do that. You run away from your cadetship, and you become a heretic.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to stop. You know that there's this dark force corrupting the higher ups, and you're trying to save the world.
Yeah, like you could even say it's tied to the zodiac signs of the calendar. Yeah, I mean, I think they do one more game in this engine before. I mean, I think they can quickly knock another one out before the next thing. What's really crazy is I read that Intelligent Systems, who typically does the Fire Emblem games, barely had anybody working on this. It was Koei Tecmo made most of this game. They're like the primary developers, like Team Ninja or Omega Force or something like that.
Koei Tecmo shouldn't even waste their time. You know what they need to make?
What do they make?
They make Destrega 2.
Destrega 2. That's what they're going to announce at EVO.
They better. That game is the greatest fighting game of all time.
That's right.
We have a clip.
Yeah, it's true.
We've showed it.
It's true.
It's true.
It's good. Really good. Yeah. But yeah, I think those, you're limited for if they want to keep doing the social sim stuff, which clearly seems very popular, especially in that, and especially in Persona, people like that.
Here, I'm gonna ask a question. Do you think the social thing is super popular now?
Yeah, it sure is.
Will it overstay its welcome?
That's, if I'm being honest, I feel like Three Houses is like almost peaking with that stuff, because to me, what I liked about Fire Emblem was not that, like, it was a nice extra, was the social stuff, and it was all about the complex battles and the elaborate maps and stuff like that. This one, it seems like the gameplay, it seems swapped. It seems the social stuff is at the forefront, and the battle is like, oh, it's there, and it's not terrible, so we're all okay with it. I want them to balance that out a little bit.
You know, I miss the days where I could just grow a tomato, give this tomato to a girl, and that's all the social.
That's it. That's all you need.
And all you're hoping for is like, please heart turn a different color. Please heart, it turned a different color. Yes. That's what social stuff used to be in the games, man.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, it used to not be in games at all. Frankly, I long for the simplicity of like tactics, where like each battle like was so elaborate. Like I've had this game in my head where it's a strategy RPG, but like it almost does with what, like, I don't know if it's Divinity or one of these other games, but like you can take your abilities and interact with the world. Like you can throw down oil and then light the oil on fire. I would love to have a strategy RPG where there's like different elements all over the place. Like, okay, for example, there's something hanging and it's held up by rope, and so you have an enemy that's sitting under that, and you can light the rope on fire and it falls on them, or stuff like that. Because in tactics, there's like switches you push to like knock bridges down. I love like more like make the maps more, you know, interesting. Like I will say in Three Houses, the maps are really boring. Like, so far.
So your worry when you first saw Three Houses has come true.
Yeah, basically. I remember. I mean, that was really basic. Like that was literally a flat plains, and you just run at people. It's not that, but it like there are times where you have to like split your team up and then meet on the other side. But like so far, that's like as elaborate as it's gotten. There's not been. I have not really fought a challenge as far as like somebody is ultra strong, or like you have to think strategically. There's been like no strategy. It's just like put your strongest guy there, have a healer back here, and just hit him and you win. Like it's really straightforward.
They should have in that strategy game that you're thinking of. They have the environmental, but they should also have like combos where you have your move action and then your action. Sorry, but and so you can move a character right. Yeah. Near one of the enemies. And then you wait. You don't use your action. And then you use another character, move, and then you combine the two characters' actions to do
that's a cool idea.
Do like a little combo.
I like that.
You have like he's like a mage character, right? Mm-hmm. And the other character is like a fighter, and you knock the guy up in the air, and then he just like does like a bolt when he's in the air.
I like that.
Like a combo.
That's cool. Or like a guy is getting ready to swing his sword, and he like lights the sword on fire, and it's like a fire sword attack. That's cool. I like that a lot. Good idea. And then the thing I hate in this game is there's weapon durability. It's like it adds nothing. It's like
Nintendo, stop with the weapon durability.
Yeah, I don't really get why they did that. It doesn't. To me, I think they wanted like, oh, it's an extra element of strategy because you have these like super moves that cost more durability, and I think they're like, oh, you have to weigh the durability cost, and it's like you make so much money that it almost doesn't matter because you can just repair your gear in between battles, and like. They might as well have not had it, frankly.
I wonder if they made a casual mode and actually made the normal mode casual mode. Because it seems like everything's really easy in this game.
Well, like I said, I'm playing on hard. I am playing on casual, but I haven't even had guys fall in battle. Like you normally, like even in Awakening and Fates, I'll have somebody like die, but then they'll come back the next one. I have not had anybody die. Like it's that easy.
So you're gonna start over. You're gonna start a normal game and see if it's even harder. If it's harder.
On normal? Like you think they swapped it on accident?
No, just like on normal, like the game. Since
you're
on
classic.
classic. Since it's on casual, everything's casual. Yeah. Maybe on like classic, it's actually like really hard.
That would be interesting because I saw a friend of mine. They beat the game and they started a new game. Plus, like, oh, I'm going hard classic, and then they showed a game over screen. I'm like, how could you get a game over that early in the game? So Maybe it is hard. That's a good point. But yeah, I don't know.
So if it's true, lesson is never play casual.
There you go, filthy casual. I would actually be really interested to play the game. I've never played a Fire Emblem in classic mode with permadeath. I've never done that. So, but they also have a rewind feature. So, because normally what happens is a character dies and you start the battle over, but now you have a rewind, so you can kind of back up to a safe spot or whatever. But
your students die, man. How dare
that would be cool. I would be really, really curious to know how that impacts the story and stuff if characters that your class actually dies.
This whole time I've been thinking about that game you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I was looking at the art style. It's like super detailed 2D sprites.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah. I was like, that's never gonna happen.
Not with that attitude.
Let's create a game studio.
There we go.
Drop your business, we'll create another business.
There you go.
With no talent of ours.
I know we can design the levels, but we don't know art or anything like that. So.
All right, so let's actually move to different questions. What kind of from Wingy Shaft? What kind of JRPG do you want a racing game like Mario Kart based off?
A racing game. That's interesting.
Like Final Fantasy Kart.
I mean, I guess to me that's the only one that has enough characters to make it worthwhile. I mean, it'd probably mostly like motorcycles and stuff, because like
Tales of Destiny, Tales of
kart racing,
Tales of Kart Racing.
Kart racing.
I mean, Falcon works too. And like anything works.
I guess.
But I would rather see fighting games of a Tales game and fighting games for Tales and Falcon games.
That wasn't the question.
I don't care.
Did you hear that, Wingy? He doesn't care.
I don't care. But I could see Final Fantasy being a kart racer. Instead of like question boxes, you run into crystals.
Ooh, there you go.
And then when you run into those crystals, you get like spells, different spells.
I think that'd be neat. Yeah, different elemental. I mean, that would be neat to me. I know he said car racer, but to me, I feel like when I think of Final Fantasy, I think of vehicles. Obviously, airships come first, but I can only think of motorcycles because Snow rides a motorcycle. That's his summon, and then Cloud rides a motorcycle in 7. I feel like I can only picture them riding motorcycles. And the rest of them are all medieval, and they don't even have stuff like that. So, steam-powered motorcycles. That would be neat. I mean, speaking of hero, collection of characters in an all-star game.
Garfield Kart Racing.
That's right, Furious Racing. I'm really, really, really surprised they still have not made a Final Fantasy Warriors game yet. Like, I can't believe they have not done that.
Because if Square Enix made one of those, it would take 20 years.
Well, they wouldn't. They didn't even make Dissidia. They outsourced that to Team Ninja.
And look how that became.
It turned out shitty. I mean, I didn't play.
Wait, who made regular Dissidia?
I think it was Square internal. I could be totally wrong. I have no idea, but
so much better.
Yeah.
It's the 1v1 aspect.
Yep. But I would play a Final Fantasy Warriors game. I would destroy that game.
All right.
Like I'm going to destroy Persona Scramble.
Okay. Smashimus. Do you have a favorite student in Three Houses, personality-wise or in combat? Never played it.
Okay,
so I can't answer this.
So, do I have a favorite student? Right now, so I'm Blue Lions. So my favorite personality-wise student is Annette. She is like the typical girl that I always like. She's like younger, spunky, fun. Is always trying to be helpful. I don't like her haircut. She's got this weird like mini pigtail loop thing, and I don't really like it. But my waifu is Mercedes. 10 out of 10 waifu.
I thought yours would be like a Naru ripoff.
A Naru ripoff, like a what do they call
Tsundere.
that? Yeah, tsundere. No, she's the opposite of a tsundere. She's like a church girl, and she's so nice and kind and soft spoken. And she's got this really long flowing hair, and she's the priest character. But I turned her into a dancer because that's a unique class that you unlock. She looks awesome as a dancer.
And she's bi. That's
Good
so unrealistic. No church girl.
I know, right? Or ultra realistic, because the church girls are the crazy ones.
That's true.
Did he say least favorite student also?
No.
Oh, in combat, he said.
It's like, what's your favorite student, personality-wise, in combat?
In combat, let me think here. I actually think so anybody can be anything, so it doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite character to use in combat is actually Mercedes, because she's a healer, but then I've taught her enough like magic to do spells, so she can she can heal people, and she hits pretty hard with magic. So I like Mercedes.
You just created a goddess.
Basically.
All right.
I created my Mary Sue.
There you go. From Abram, would you guys buy a Game Boy Classic? I would. Like maybe have 20 games.
No. I mean, obviously, if they did a Game Boy Classic, they'd have to fix the screen. But to me, there's not enough memorable games on Game Boy.
Do you hear that? Everyone gasping.
I never played any. Like, so here's my experience with Game Boy: Tetris, of course, because everybody played Tetris. And then I had this Ninja Turtles game that was, if I'm being honest, is probably not great. But I was so in love with Ninja Turtle, I played it anyway. And then Dr. Mario. Was Dr. Mario even? Dr. Mario was on, yeah. Dr. Mario, and then there was a Game Boy Mega Man game, I think. And it's like a weird version of Mega Man. They like combine two games or something.
It's just like Mega Man. Yeah, it's pretty much Mega Man, but...
Yeah, and I didn't really...
It was hard.
Yeah, and I didn't really like that either, so... Yeah, what? And yeah, Grandma's yelling.
Yeah, she doesn't need the yell, that's the problem.
Yeah. But yeah, no, to answer that question, no, I wouldn't buy it.
I don't think there's reason to have one. Just create the virtual console and put Game Boy games on it. That's all you need.
Yep. Yep.
Because we have the virtual console Nintendo.
Yeah,
Game Boy games.
It's getting pretty good. Like, do you look at that at all? The online stuff for Switch with the Nintendo library?
I've looked at it, but I'm not like, I don't really care for Nintendo games.
Yeah, I mean, there's some good. Some of those don't hold up like at all. Like, I know people love Zelda. The first Zelda is so hard to figure out. Like, you just start and you just walk around, and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's totally not a new game.
No, it's not. I played for like 5 minutes and I'm like, nope. You know what game I've played the most on the Classic is Tecmo Bowl.
Really?
It's like it's a Nintendo game. It's like you have like 6 plays and it's super basic, but it's really fun.
What they need is the Tiny Toons game.
Ooh, the Tiny Toons games was good. I know people call it like a Mario ripoff, but I think everybody just calls everything a Mario ripoff from that day. But that was and then I actually beat Mario 3 on the Virtual Console. That was the first time I beat it. I was leading up to the Super Mario Maker 2. That's a good game too, by the way.
That's very fun. You gotta play my levels.
I played one. It was really hard.
They're all really hard. From Craftium, another question I can't answer. Which house in Fire Emblem 16 is the best, and why is it Golden Deer?
To me, okay, this is gonna piss Kraft off. I think of the 3, I think Golden Deer has the best house leader, but their roster of characters is the weakest. I feel like, because in Blue Lions, the leader is like a very like kingly, princely, like really buttoned up guy, and then you have your like science styling stoic, like what's a joke? I don't know what a joke is. Like one of those guys. And then you have Annette, who's like the perky, fun girl, and then Mercedes, so I mentioned. Then you have Ingrid, who's kind of the female version of the house leader, but she's a little bit more relaxed. Ash, who's an archer, and he kind of had a tortured life, but he's trying to make the best of it.
So Blue Lions.
But I think Black Eagle, they have the better overall girls. I think their cast of girls is good, and then I don't know the guys much. And they have their house leader's a female, so I think it goes Blue Lions, Black Eagles, and then Golden Deer. Sorry, Kraft. Although Golden Deer are known for their archers, which I like archers, but they kind of suck in 3 houses. They always miss.
Stop missing. You need to get the concentrate skill.
There you go. I think I'm just trying to shoot from too far away, because in 3 houses, the farther you are away, your hit chance it gets lower the further you are.
Kraft also has another question.
Okay.
Last question.
From 3 houses?
No, not
Kraft.
No. Have either of you got a JRPG or game series in general that you've been eyeing up for years? I'm talking 5+ or even 10+ years.
Mm-hmm.
But you've never taken the dive or done more than dipping the toe in for a bit. For me, I've been interested in playing the Wild Arms series for ages, but never made so much of an attempt, and I've only played Skies of Arcadia for about 2 to 3 hours.
One thing I'll say about Wild Arms is I think 1 holds up pretty decently well, because the crux of those games is they're turn-based JRPGs.
And this is Taylor we're talking
yeah,
about.
this is me. They do have, it's the typical random battle, turn-based battles, but I really love the puzzle-solving element of that game. So each character has a tool. So, for example, one has like a grappling hook, one has like a torch, and then one can punch hard or something like that. So you're going through a dungeon and you have to swap characters, and you can use their different tools to solve different puzzles. And I feel like of all the ones, if you really want to get into it, Craft, play 3. Wild Arms 3 looks really, really nice, and it's a PS2 game, but it's also available as a classic on PS4 with trophies. That one has such a cool art style, and that's much more of a Western. Like, people say, oh yeah, Wild Arms is a Western. I'm like, I beat that game. It's not a Western. Like, outside of the intro, I don't know where people get that. Like, none of the areas really feel Western-y. The music, I don't think, is really reflective of that, but, oh my god, dog. But Wild Arms 3 is very much a Western. Like, really Western. Like, all the outfits, all the cities you go to. It's, like, I think the best version of that, so. But what was the question? Series we missed out on?
Series that we've been looking at.
Please stop howling.
I would say the Mana series, especially now that the collection's out. I wanted to play Secret of Mana. There's Secret of Mana and then Legend of Mana on PlayStation, which is not in that collection, I don't think. But I've had my eye on that for a really long time, and once the physical version of the Mana collection comes out for Switch, I want to get that. And then Trials of Mana looks really neat. The remake looks really, really cool. So I would say that. I'm trying to think if there's like a strategy RPG series. I know you, not Vanguard Bandits. What's the one that you like? Vandal Hearts? Yeah, Vandal Hearts looks cool.
Try it.
It's short though, right?
Beat it in like 20 hours.
Yeah, okay.
Then Vandal Hearts 2 is completely different. It is very. I want to play that because Vandal Hearts 1 is like a typical strategy RPG where you move and you have your turn. It's like this guy where everyone moves.
Yeah.
And then their turn, all the enemies move. This one's different. This one, you pick a character, or one of your character has a speed, I think, and then you move a character. But at the same time, when you move, an enemy moves at the same time.
Oh, weird.
So you have to actually like guess where the enemy's gonna move and attack in that direction.
That's weird.
So like you have to guess like the character's gonna move beside me, so I'm gonna move to the side and then attack.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like he moves beside you and then you move behind him and attack him. It's really interesting because it's like you have to guess, or you just attack a character that's not gonna move. But
that's really weird. I don't like that.
It's really
that kind of predicting I don't like.
It's very unique. I've never seen it happen. Like I want to play it. I want to try it. I want to show you.
I just saw a game.
But mine, okay, I can show you. I can tell you mine. Mine was obvious. It was Kingdom Hearts. I mean, I played it.
Played them all. That doesn't.
No. But before that. Before that, I was always eyeing it and always wanted to play it. I owned them.
Yeah.
Look at this. I owned them, and I never played them.
And then you bought the Mega Collection.
And then I bought the Mega Collection, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna finally deep dive into Kingdom Hearts, and I played it.
What about now? Is there a series that you still have not played that you want?
I'm trying to think of one. I really haven't.
The
I've
one
messed with like every game in my collection. I've messed with.
That is true. I will say one game that a series that I've had my eye on for a while and I have never played is Yokai Watch. I mean, it's basically supposedly it's kind of like Pokemon, but it's level 5, and I always like level 5 games, except White Knight Chronicles, of course.
That's a game that we should try again and see if it's actually good.
It's not good. Yeah, so that would be another one is Yokai Watch.
Oh, nothing's.
Because yeah, you've dabbled in everything like Atelier, Jade Cocoon,
Grandia, Kingdom Hearts.
You beat all the Grandia, or you at least played a good chunk of most of the Grandia games.
I only have not beaten Extreme.
Because, as we all know,
it's extremely bad. Ni no Kuni, dabbled in that series.
Tails, never played it.
Never played a Tails game. I need to get into that series. I really do. It looks really good.
Doom, the best JRPG series.
Best.
You still haven't really played Dragon Quest, right?
Mm-hmm.
You played a little bit of 11, right?
Mm-hmm.
11's so good. You gotta
I played a little bit of 11 and I played a little bit of 8, but I never really got into them.
It bums me out.
It really no.
how grindy 8 is. Because if it wasn't grindy, that game would be amazing.
What bums me out is how archaic Dragon Quest is. I know people love that, but it just really doesn't do it for me. Like 11, I played 11. 11 was alright, I could get through that.
Yeah.
But like 8 was super... It just reminded me of playing RPG Maker 2.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of.
Sure.
So...
Well, I will say this. So the Switch version...
I don't want to be playing Gobbly Quest, you know?
I will say I think that if you really want to give 11 a real try, the Switch version... I know you don't want to buy it again if you have it already, but... In the Switch version, they add speed up for battles. They added orchestral music. There's extra scenes, and the game is long as it is, so whatever.
I might get this.
The Switch version. That game. I've said it before, but that game has the best collections of towns in any RPG. And I'm not even saying JRPG. I'm saying any RPG. It's so unique and diverse, and there's so many like cool things to do. It's so much fun exploring like. Gosh, I just love the Dragon Quest XI world. It's really awesome. Good characters, best waifu, Jade. 10 out of 10. 11 out of 10 waifu.
Jade.
Yeah. Or Maria, as me and Spaghetti call her.
It's Maria. Yeah, there's nothing like...
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the big ones.
Like, the ones that I'm thinking of are like Japanese names.
That you haven't really got around to?
Yeah. Like that one right there. If you look, it's the Robo series. It's right next to the Japanese cover.
Oh yes, Super Robot Wars. Yeah. I mean, technically, we were just talking about Sakura Wars. I've never played Sakura Wars. They have had English versions of those games, but I think that might have to be your first.
Yeah, it's gonna be my first. Yeah, that's it. Okay. I can't think of anything.
Okay. Any more questions?
That'll be it for today. It feels like we've been doing this podcast for like 3 hours.
Because of the stupid dog.
But we've only been doing it for like an hour and a half.
That's how boring it was to do it.
I know.
And we've just been slogging through it.
Actually, it was fun. It was fun talking
No, it
about
was good.
everything.
It was good.
Hopefully this turns out alright. Like, the quality is alright because we kind of rushed this setup.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thanks guys for listening in. I'm sorry that our podcasts are so like out, like not in schedule. Hopefully Taylor will finally get unbusy.
Mm-hmm.
It's all his fault.
It's all my fault.
But yeah, I'm glad that we got this out because Taylor just randomly came in yesterday and he was like, "Hey, you want to do a podcast tomorrow? I probably can't be able to do one." I'm like, "Thank you, God." So I thought I wasn't going to be able to do one for like a month.
Yeah, and then I mean, we'll definitely do one next week because, again, I mean, it's going to be the same type of schedule. We'll need to work, but it won't. I mean, it's kind of.
Well, you're going to be gone the weekend, so we have to be doing it during the week.
Yeah, I get back Monday.
We'll talk about that Evo announcement of Persona 5 Arena.
That's right. Yeah.
So.
Joker is in Street Fighter 5 now.
It's everywhere.
I think he's the one you're seeing.
Wow. They're actually going to be announcing Marvel vs. Capcom 4, and it's actually going to look good.
That'd be amazing.
You'll be happy.
Hopefully. And they'll actually have good characters like the X-Men.
Yeah, they'll have all the characters that you wanted. Alright guys, so see you next time. I'll try to update everyone on social media. Don't count on it because I suck at social media.
Don't count on it.
Thanks for listening guys, and we'll be back.